Mohamed Olad Hassan is an award-winning Somali journalist. Born in the capital Mogadishu, he is one of the many Somali journalists who has been shot at several times by insurgent gunmen. Despite repeated hardships, his ability to report impartially and objectively is remarkable. VOA's Ndiho has the story.
Journalists working in war-torn countries requires sterling nerves and an immense amount of dedication. Reporting from Somalia is one of the biggest challenges and perhaps one of the most dangerous places to be a reporter. This year alone, the Committee to Protect Journalists, CPJ, estimates that at least 18 members of the media have been killed in Somalia by Al-Shabaab militants. Until recently, VOA's Mohamed Olad Hassan was an AP-BBC correspondent based in Mogadishu, and he says it's extremely difficult to report from Somalia.
It's a very tough job. You're thinking about your life, you're thinking about your safety, and everywhere you go, you are planning as a soldier without a gun. So that shows how risky it is.
There is no strong legal framework to protect journalists in Somalia. They express their sympathy and loyalty with red bandans tied around their heads every time one of their own is killed. Journalists can be caught in the crossfire of a firefight and have to run for their lives. Video journalists are often the most endangered. Stray bullets and shrapnel from explosions can cause serious injuries. Hassan says that Somali local radio and TV journalists are often targeted because they are perceived to be agents of the West.
I was reporting a story about the fall of one of the helicopters, military helicopters of Ethiopians was shot down by Islamists, and I was reporting that story with my camera, and then a mortar round hit in front of my camera, and then it really knocked me down, and then I was injured, and then I was taken to the hospital. After a few days, I was evacuated from Mogadishu to Nairobi for treatment.
In 2010, Harvard University's Nieman Foundation for Journalism honored Mohamed Hassan with its Louis M. Lyons Award for Conscience and Integrity in Journalism. Also, in 2010, he was the recipient of the prestigious Speaker Aboard Award, given by the British Speaker of the House of Commons to journalists who excel in the most difficult of circumstances while fulfilling their professional duty to report, to inform, and to alert the world to the news that it needs to know. Despite repeated hardships, Mohamed Olad Hassan continues to inspire his community and to be the voice of the voiceless.
Journalism is our profession, we like it, and that inspires us to keep working instead of running away from our enemy. The other thing is, these guys who are killing journalists, these guys who are threatening us, these guys who are making explosions, these extremists want journalists to silence so that the voice of the voiceless cannot be heard. Instead of helping them reach their own goals, we decided to keep working, and we think that at the end of the day, they will be the losers and the Somali journalists will be the winners.
The United Nations High Commission for Human Rights recently released a report deploring the continued attacks on journalists in Somalia. Speaking to reporters in Geneva, Rupert Colville, spokesperson for the High Commissioner for Human Rights, said they are extremely alarmed by the continuing assault on Somali media workers and journalists by Al-Shabaab and other elements.
The role of the media is crucial as Somalia tries to get back to its feet, and the continued regular slaughter of the country's journalists risks stifling the media's ability to contribute to an improvement in law and order and good governance.
According to the UN, there are 18 journalists killed in Somalia this year. This is the second highest total in the world after Syria. This includes 9 killed in the past 6 weeks. Ndiho, VOA News.
Now, on the flip side, in Zambia, the government has ordered police to arrest anyone who tries to harass, intimidate, or inhibit journalists from doing their job. In an interview with VOA's Peter Clote, Information and Broadcasting Services Minister Kennedy Sekeni says that President Michael Sata wants to make sure journalists are protected following reports that some supporters of political parties have beaten journalists they believe are critical of their party's leaders. Sekeni says the new directive is aimed at ensuring that the media can practice their profession without fear of intimidation or harassment. According to the Constitution, the government issued the order after journalists petitioned the administration to protect them following reports of harassment.